All right, Sagittarians, how is everyone doing? We are here in July 2025. We are at the height of summertime. We're gonna take a look and kind of see if there's any information or guidance for Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, Sagittarians for the month. So if you're new, welcome in. If you're a Lyran Soul Tribe member, welcome in. Basically, a Lyran Soul Tribe member is just a subscriber. So if you want to be a part of the Soul Tribe, hit that subscribe button. Obviously, the energy within the reading that you're watching, you're going to absorb that. The energy is going to be given to you. Again, it's all positive. It's all healing, loving energies to support you on your higher path. But also for the Soul Tribe members, I do special kind of energy work with the subscribers. So, and that I just do on my own time, and you'll be open and receiving to that as a member, as a subscriber, sorry. So definitely subscribe, Sagittarians, or if you're a cross watcher. All right, let's see. It was an intense, we've had a crazy road this whole year. June was kind of that real pivotal month that I think we all were waiting for. I channeled a lot of information about June. June really should have set you on the stage for the next, the rest of the year. You could have had a big change, made a big decision, ended something really big in your life, and are kind of, trying to pave a new path. But now we are in July, and there's definitely, as usual, been some trends. So I'll hit those quickly. So the first trend I'm seeing in July, there's a lot of supportive energy. So this is coming from the divine, from your guides, your angels, your higher self. This can also is manifesting in the physical as support. So however you feel you need more support right now in your life, I'm seeing that that's going to show up for you, whether it's, through unexpected, maybe you come across some sort of person that you do energy work with, or a therapist. That could be how the support shows up. It could show up through your relationships and just people, stepping up more to help support you or take, the load off your back. So I've been seeing a lot of that. The Chariot, the two cards that I feel like are showing up in almost every reading is the Chariot is a big one, and then the Seven of Cups. So we'll have to see if that shows up for you, Sages. But Chariot is really about things are going to start moving quicker, moving faster in your life. Things progressing, things coming in. We'll see how that shows. And then the Seven of Cups is really about our dreams and desires. So that combined with the Chariot is amazing energy. It means that things that we've been wanting, dreams and desires, things are coming in for you, and however those show up. But those are kind of the two big things I'm seeing. The third, sorry, forgot about this one. So Uranus is moving into Gemini this month. So that's a big one. After Uranus moves into Gemini, all the outer planets, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto, all have moved signs the last couple months. So if you're not aware, when the outer planets move slower through the zodiac. So they're in a sign for a long time, especially Pluto. I mean, Pluto moved into Aquarius last November, and it's going to be in Aquarius for the next 20 years. So all of those outer signs are in signs for a long time. So that when it does move, it is pretty big and it's impactful, and we feel it. And it usually has a long-term, unfoldment, right? Because when, let's say, for example, Pluto, for 20 years, things are going to slowly progress and unfold, and we're going to see the changes in the next 20 years. So Uranus is around kind of big changes, unexpected things, surprises. So that's showing up in July around things, again, unexpected things happening, sudden things coming up, whether it's like learning about some truth that you didn't know, things changing really quickly out of the blue, you all of a sudden having sudden realizations or spiritual enlightenment, things like that. And we are in Cancer season, so there is a focus on, so the themes for Cancer are family, nurturing, and where's my book? I'm just gonna quick open it. So it's nurturing, home, and family. Those are the Cancerian themes. So you could have some impacts around your home, family, and seeing that shift or change. But there should also, for you, kind of sit and focus on those areas of your life and what do they mean to you. Maybe where can you grow in those areas? How can you be more supportive to create, maybe it's just around, like, where's my home base? Like, where do I want to set up home? And again, home isn't about a location, but more about a feeling. So feeling out what feels like home to you. So let's get started. Definitely, if you are interested in a private reading with me, I have some availability, so you can schedule something. Take a look at my website, which is linked below in the description, and you can schedule a reading there. All right. We'll pull a couple oracle cards first, get some foundational energies. So we have fire spirit energy. So that's very intense, passionate energy coming through. Wise woman of the grove, grace. And wood nymph, beauty. I like the beauty and the energy together. Also, when we think of beauty and grace in that combo, right? That's always when someone's described as beautiful and graceful. I mean, obviously that's, especially for women, that's kind of an ideal state, right? We would love to be called beautiful and graceful. So there is a lot of this combo of idealized state, almost like something coming together in some sort of idealized state in your life. That's really, you've created. You've really used maybe your creativity, you used your passions to guide you to create, or intuitively even guided towards something that now is kind of unfolding to me. And maybe with grace, for some of you, someone's granted you some grace. There's some sort of grant of grace in July. So let's dig in further to see. Oh, we had two fly out here. So these are mini cards, but I don't think I've used these in a reading, but these are the Forest Creatures Tarot. So we have the Seven of Pentacles and the Star. So there's something here. To me, this is, like I said, you've idealized something. Something has come to fruition. And that's exactly what the Seven of Coins represents. So something is coming into fruition for you, or like it's time for a harvest. That's kind of the metaphor of the Seven of Pentacles. Like something is now manifesting for you. Something definitely that you've been passionate about. Maybe you've put a lot of time and energy right into this. This could be an investment that all of a sudden like is fulfilling some wish or goal. This is coming too. And this, these, since they flew out, I kind of do as like an overarching energy of the reading. So the overarching energy of July is really about something coming to fruition that's kind of a wish fulfilled or a dream that you've been kind of working on for some time. And it's finally like paying off. So let's see. See what's underneath. So we have the Emperor. I mean, that's really you. I mean, the Emperor is really abundance and realization, leadership, building some sort of life here that's finally, you know, that's like the highest level of status, or just, to me, strength and abundance and leadership here. Three of Swords, the Eight of Cups, the Queen of Cups, the Two of Pentacles, and the Nine of Pentacles. And I'm going to grab this Four of Swords, and I have to grab the High Priestess. So I'm actually going to go back now, because the Three of Swords with the Emperor to me and the Eight of Cups. So this to me is you. There's been some sort of trauma or pain, but you've held some sort of pain body around. This could be male figures in your life. This could be a father wound that's referring to you. This could also refer to just relationships that, you know, the relationships you've had have been people that have caused, again, a lot of wounding in the heart, right? Again, heartache, feeling. This could be betrayals, or just, you know, relationships ending that's created a lot of different heartaches for you. With the Emperor, you know, this, it doesn't have to mean a male, but, you know, it can be male relationships. But this can also refer to just a type of person. It could be male or female. People that are really controlling or stubborn, or just they can't change. Like they have an unwillingness to grow and change. So especially with someone like you, who I assume all of you watching my channel are really open to growth and change and in spirituality and finding self-awareness, this Emperor with the Three of Swords does not help that self-awareness, or doesn't take accountability great. And with the Eight of Cups, I feel like you've definitely walked away from this person, or you've been dealing with these woundings, and you are dealing with the emotional kind of holding on to those emotional wounds. But now you're kind of, the Eight of Cups, especially too with this Four of Swords, is healing. You're integrating, you're healing these heartaches and these emotions, and leaving them. You're leveling up and walking away and leaving these behind, and you're not carrying them. So this is the reason, if you feel like this could be all your life, or this could be just a certain period of your life up till now, but there's this sense of like always like this emotional up and down upheavals. Like you go through good times, but then you go through really bad times, and it's like you're just wanting things to kind of level out. Can things just, you know, be not so up and down all the time? And I do feel like this period is signifying here in July with the Nine of Coins, and we have, sorry, I forgot the Queen of Cups. So there's definitely some sort of emotional needing to really be in your feels this month, really look at your emotional body, allow yourself to surrender and feel what you've maybe been pushing away, Sagittarian. So you are a fire sign. So that kind of aligns with this fire energy, like coming into your true self, I'm feeling. And it could be because you have pushed away a lot of these emotions or this wounding from the past, but now you're really allowing yourself to feel this stuff and to face this. And what this is doing is helping you heal, but it's also allowing you to connect to your true self. You're not pushing your true self away to try and, you know, maintain relationships or to save face with family again, or relationships. But the Nine of Coins is about you really aligning with, who am I? And the more you align with who you truly are, the more happy you are. And also the more you're going to start attracting positive things in your life. And there is some sort of, you have the 7 and 9 of Pentacles. And I talked about there's some sort of something coming to fruition. And I feel like that's because you've been aligning here. And that's where all of a sudden you are attracting your own abundance. And also there's some sort of spiritual enlightenment that comes through this process as well. And I feel like just in July, things just are coming together and you're starting to, from a higher self perspective, connect more to your intuition, connect more to yourself, and you are basically approaching life in a new way. You're approaching life from a more grounded, connected to self, listening to the self instead of your wounding, your past wounding kind of being the main source of your, it's almost like you were on automatic and what was controlling you, what was controlling your actions and how you interact with the world was your wounding. All right, we have the Queen of Swords, the Page of Wands, and the 7 of Wands. Yeah, this is, to me, like you're finally really standing up for yourself. You're setting boundaries. You're kind of cutting out ideas and people that you're like, this doesn't align with me and my values. This isn't healthy for me. There's also what I heard when I pulled the Queen of Swords and the Page of Wands. I heard something about you're finally protecting your inner child. You're actually now connecting to these parts of yourself that have been calling out for safety and protection that maybe you didn't have as a child. And now you're really giving yourself that. And that's empowering you and leveling you up. And that's how we're healing, because now your inner child parts are actually trusting you, and you're finally trusting yourself. So if you have an issue with trusting yourself or even trusting other people, so when we don't trust other people, really there's an aspect of ourselves that doesn't trust ourselves. And usually it's tied back to inner parts from childhood that obviously didn't trust their parents. They didn't maybe feel safe in their environment, or kind of felt like they were out on their own. But now with the 7 of Wands, you have the upper hand this month. So if you're dealing with dynamics or people in your life that are trying to pull you back down, or again, pull you back into old dynamics, you're like, you have higher ground here. You have the new spiritual wisdom and awareness that you're not going to back down or let people take advantage of you or manipulate you or just doing things you don't want to do anymore. So there's something about stepping into your power this month, which I love. Yep, there's the Tower. That's that Uranian energy. So something sudden. King of Swords. Actually, I think that's the yeah, that's the King of Swords. So we have the King and Queen of Swords. So the King and Queen of Swords together are like a meeting of the minds. Let's get one more here. Temperance. So it's almost like the Temperance is saying there's a situation or relationship dynamic here that the guidance is we need to temper this situation, or we need to temper this relationship. To me, with the King and Queen, and then we have the Tower in between, it's almost like maybe there's a sudden fight or conflict that comes out of nowhere. And it's almost like in these two cards, you see this King is ready to fight. He's got his sword up, he's ready for battle, and the Queen also kind of has the sword in front of her. So it's almost like something triggers this, and you're kind of more in this defensive stance within this situation or with this person. And this kind of came unexpectedly, but the guidance here is we need to, how do we temper this? And the only way to temper this situation is to, it's almost like if there's too much fire, you don't want to add more fire to the mix, you want to add water. So if normally with this person, if it's almost like, especially with a fire sign, if you have this, you're trying to meet together on some situation or wavelength, but it's almost like the Tower is usually because you add fire and fire. Someone lit the that's blowing up the Tower here. So it is also requiring you to have some boundaries, but also, so there's that figuring out that fine line of how do I stand up and keep my boundaries and stand up for myself, but also temper a situation here. For some of you, this could revolve around children. If you have children, if it's a spouse or an ex-spouse, there could be something around children and trying to get on the same page about something. But this could also reference just having new ideas, approaching things in new ways, and learning new things. So we have the Eight of Swords, the Knight of Wands, and the Three of Pentacles. So you definitely don't see this coming. You don't see this Tower coming. So this is going to be unexpected. So this is kind of in line with the themes of July, that Uranian energy. Something's coming, you don't expect it. But the reason this is happening is because we have to change the dynamics, whatever this is. So the Tower references like a foundation that is shaky. Things are built on something that just are too shaky, and trying to continue to build on this and to be successful and have some sort of stable situation. This is not built on something stable right now. So the Tower has to come in to help you kind of stabilize a situation or relationship. Someone could be approaching this a little immaturely. Someone could be a little irrational, or maybe they're too impulsive, which also may trigger this Tower. But what is being required of you, and this is something you're going to kind of grow in these attributes, is, like I said, boundaries, setting boundaries. At the same time, how do I not kind of put more fire on the fire or gas on the fire? And then also, how can we work together? Because it isn't about, I know what we need to do and I'm right here. Sometimes that can happen with the King and Queen, especially with the Tower in the mix, is there's too much logic here. There's too much like I'm right energy and you're wrong. But we need to come together to, like, how do we work together to build something or to get the outcome we both want? So this is really specific here. The Six of Swords flew out, which I do feel like the ultimate outcome here is going to be you will be able to figure this out and move in the right direction to a place of you know, it's going to become easier. So if you've had a pattern with this person, if the dynamic has been kind of challenging for a while, I do feel like July is kind of, what's happening is July is to help move you guys to getting along better. Things are easier, and the Tower has to happen. But like I said, ultimately something, a wish is being fulfilled this month. Something is actually coming to harvest or fruition. And this is just part of the unfoldment of this and how it has to play out. So what's the Tower? More about the Tower. The Sun. Yeah, the Tower's coming in to help bring in something good for you. It's helping to bring a situation to a place that's happier, that's more peaceful. Let's talk to this King of Swords. What say you, Magician? The Page of Coins. So there is some sort of lesson here. I do feel like you've been manifesting this, and again, it's helping to create a solution or get a better outcome and to shift maybe certain dynamics or challenges that you've been dealing with. There is definitely a lesson here or something of value. This person has something of value to you, whether it's the lesson, whether it's something actually physical. This person may have some level of power. Let's get one more. Three of Cups. There could be other people at play here. So like I said, there could be more children. You could have children with this person. This could also be tied to like a holiday. So depending on when you listen to this, this is going to be posted after the 4th of July, but we're talking about July as a whole. So the Tower could have happened around the 4th of July holiday. Three of Pentacles, Temperance. Just seeing what else I want to clarify. Let's do the Emperor and the Three of Swords. Ace of Swords. Yeah, this is, there is some truth you have to face. And this could be around your father wound. This could be around just relationship dynamics. Like, I think you're finally facing the truth to a pattern or dynamic. You could also be speaking your truth to somebody who is this Emperor, who has caused you a lot of pain. I feel like you're finally standing, like I said, you're finally standing up to yourself and speaking your truth, which is going to help the situation, at least for you. I think it'll be healing, just you finally, you know, speaking the truth. That's going to kind of be a relief. And welcome Jupiter to the reading. Jupiter brings good luck for you, Sagittarius, this month. And then one more for the Seven of Pentacles star. Nine of Wands. Yeah, it's almost like something has been very challenging for you. And it has been challenging for a while. It could be a relationship that you've put a lot of time and effort into. It could be a job or a business or something that you've been trying to get off the ground or make successful, or like, obviously the Seven of Pentacles is like we're putting time and effort into something that we feel is, for one, we're passionate about, but we feel that there's going to be some sort of, it's going to produce something great for us. So you put time and effort and invest it in a relationship because you think this is my person, or this is the person I want to spend my life with. Maybe you invest money in something because you feel like there's going to be some sort of payoff or success. So it could be a project. But it's definitely been challenging. And I feel like also you've kind of gotten to a point, it could be now, it could be around now, it could have been in the recent past, but something that you're really contemplating, like maybe I give up on this, maybe this isn't right for me anymore, and maybe I go in a different direction, or just, again, if it's a project or side hustle, you're like, yeah, I don't know if I can put any more money into this or time, because it just really hasn't produced anything for me or been successful. It hasn't reached my goals. But with the star, I feel like that's really saying, don't give up. Like, it's almost like when you're just about to give up, things are going to take off or produce something great. And that's what I feel like this is saying for you in July. So there's almost like a couple different things happening here for you, Sagittarius, this month. There seems to be a specific situation going on with another person. There's some dynamics here that are a bit challenging. And maybe you have to stand up to this person, and finally there's that Tower moment here. There's also another thing. This could refer, the Seven of Pentacles and Star could also refer to this, if this is a relationship. And maybe there's also this side piece to something that you've been doing for a while as well, that like is finally your wish is going to be fulfilled here. And then there's just this other situation going on, but there is a little bit of tie between this, because I definitely feel like you're going to find some major spiritual growth and kind of elevate your consciousness through speaking your truth, facing your truth, facing these old wounds, standing up for yourself, setting boundaries. How do we work together and not just continue to have this dynamic of I'm always right, you're wrong, or maybe there's a little bit of emotion that needs to be put in this when we have two swords. You know, that's a lot of air energy. That's a little too much always in the head, not enough in the heart, okay? But what's interesting, God, do we have any? Okay, we do have the Three of Cups. I was just kind of wondering, is there any cups? We have the Eight of Cups. Okay, so we have the Queen of Cups. There's a little bit of cups in here. So it's almost like we need, Sagittarius, you're being asked to connect to your heart more as well. Maybe you tend to lean more on the air side or in the head. You're more logical. There's that fire energy you have as well. So you kind of mix your passion with your mind, where it's like we need to harmonize that with the heart and ground it in with the earth into our physical reality. But things are going to be good. Okay, like I see these outcomes of Star, Sun, Six of Swords, High Priestess, healing here. So I do feel like you're going in a good direction. So don't be too deterred by this Tower. Don't let the Tower completely deter you from something, or completely give up, or throw in the towel and say, oh, we're never going to be able to work together, or this is totally done. I do feel like there is some hope in this situation, and things are going to pan out in one way or the other for your highest good. And it's going to start to manifest in the physical. All right, Sagittarius, I'm going to let you go. Definitely like that, like the reading, subscribe, do all the things. And I'm still looking for new ideas for if there's other readings you guys want to see. Let me know that as well, and I'll try to incorporate them through the monthly and the weeklies. But yeah, have a great July, Sagittarius, and I will see you in the next reading.